Now, one of the things that hurt or really hurt the companies that we invest in was, of course, load shedding. Load shedding over and above inflation, high interest rates. It was one of the thing, or it was one of the issues that were really bringing so much harm into our economy. I mean, the companies that we invest in had to make other alternatives and make sure that they have got backups in terms of when load shedding happens, they are ready and they can start a generator. Their alternative power backup can kick in, and that was costing a lot of companies. I mean, we saw for a company like Pick and Pay, ShopRite coming with additional measures to make sure that at least their freezers, their food, are still as fresh as possible. We saw them implementing strategies using millions and millions just to make sure that they've got an alternative power when load shedding, of course, takes place. But one of the things that we've been experiencing, you will know that it has been we've successfully passed the 100 days without load shedding. Thanks to Eskom, who said that they added 800 megawatt, which that is the one thing that helped the grid to be stable. So these are good news, and I think once again it means that the companies, or those millions and millions that companies were spending trying to have or get alternative energy, that money will be saved, will be used. Some companies will pay that money as dividends, or some companies will use that money that they were spending for alternative power to grow the company, which is something that is pretty exciting. So these are good news, and I think the reason why I'm telling you about this is because I've done a couple of videos in the past where we were complaining about load shedding. Even International Monetary Fund, your IMF, they came and was lowering the GDP forecast for South Africa because of this load shedding. Load shedding was hurting a lot of not only consumers but also companies that we invest in, and therefore economy activities were shrinking. Even the big miners, they were suffering because of this load shedding. They had to put mitigation measures to try to make sure that at least work can continue, but it was not continuing as at 100%. I mean, I remember there was a certain point a company like Sibanye Stillwater saying that at least they want to fight, or though they won't get the kind of production output they usually get when there is power, but their alternative can give them at least something. So they were not getting 100% production, or what they would usually produce when they have power during load shedding, which that shows you the kind of hurt the load shedding was bringing to the businesses, to the companies who are invest in. I mean, you have a look at the retailers. When you go buy your food during load shedding, you would hear generators on and trying to make sure that they give back up to the stores that we are buying our groceries from, which is something that was bringing a lot of harm into consumers and the companies we invest in. Consumers are very happy. I'm very happy that we have not received, of course, load shedding. There are some solar lights or some alternatives, solar systems that people had to install to make sure that at least they don't get affected by this load shedding. And now that we don't have much power cuts or load shedding taking place, I think it's good for them. It's not money lost, because whenever there's power cuts, whenever there's load shedding, they will just go to that. I mean, there were some lights that were being sold at hardware at shops that were being sold by like 400, 300. Now those lights are sold by $100 because they are no longer in demand, which shows that the country right now has sort of like recovered from load shedding, though we don't know for how long. But I think everything is still running smoothly, and maybe we might get to see even more 100 days without load shedding, which that will be absolutely amazing. So I'm happy that companies can perform better than how they were performing during the load shedding days, as I've just explained how it was hitting the companies we invest in. And this therefore will mean that the economy in our country will perform much better, things will go much smoother, and when inflation, or as inflation comes down and the interest rates starts easing, things will go back to normal and everyone will be happy. There won't be much car and house repossessions. People will be able to live a normal, healthy, stress-free life. And I hope that's what we are going to see, because with not much stress, you are able to even invest, buy shares, more shares, increase your holdings onto your stock market portfolios, because as it stands, some of the people can't even invest or buy shares anymore because the responsibilities are just so much. Interest rates are so high, and therefore repayments on some of the loans, debts we have, is just so unbearable, which result in us not having enough money to invest on a month to month. So things will get better in the next couple of months. I hope so, though the SA Reserve Bank is proposing an inflation lower than the current existing inflation, which might result in interest rates staying longer than anticipated. I think we are heading in the right direction. We are staying, and there will be blue sky at the end of the day. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, make sure that you do your own due diligence before you buy any other company, any other stock, as stocks can be quite volatile. Shares can be quite volatile, but the good thing, we've been seeing shares performing better because of the new cabinet and, of course, the elections outcome. So things, I hope they get better and better, and our country continue growing in terms of the GDP, which is something that will attract more investors to come and invest in the companies we invest in the JSE, and then leading those companies into more growth. Otherwise, that's all from me. God bless you all.